I'm not very exciting at a cocktail party because enterprise software is not a sexy topic.
No, but why does it? And then we're going to need it. And
but it does involve a lot of things.
5 years from now.
Well,
5 years from now, we'll still be talking about it.
Look at the spend. The spend this year for enterprises, meaning large companies, are above medium-sized companies buying software, is about $400 billion. That's a big TAM. And that is growing next year close to 9% again after growing almost 10% this year. And that may be accelerating because we have all of the world in the midst of digital transformations. That's a term that I don't like using, but it's true. So there's a huge spend on software. And that's why we see so many companies transitioning to be software companies. Cisco's a good example.
We talk all about these big tech companies, and the one thing we don't talk about is, or maybe enough, I don't know, maybe it isn't enough. Yeah. Given the tweets you see from President Trump around Amazon, given the conversations we have around antitrust, given the history with Microsoft, do you expect Washington to come at these companies?
I think some of the things we're seeing from Europe, GDPR, will likely come here as well. There's a big movement on privacy, and that does affect companies like Facebook, Google, Amazon, right. Anyone touching the consumer. I think there are bigger fish to fry right now, that there's a lot of talk about this, but the one difference between the era of Microsoft is there's not just a Microsoft anymore. There's a Microsoft, a Google, an Amazon, a Facebook, a Tencent, and Alibaba. There's tremendous competition between these companies that benefits the consumer.
So when you hear people say Amazon's too big or so-and-so is too big, you think that's a misnomer?
I do. I think that any individual company, their bigness impact is less than IBM in the 70s or Microsoft in the 80s, and they have intense competition. That's one of the reasons these companies are growing so rapidly, is they can't rest on their laurels.
Intense competition, but really among those already big companies, how challenging is that in terms of newer companies, smaller companies, startup companies being able to break in and compete?
Well, let's look at the next level of enterprise software companies. Companies like Salesforce. They carved out a platform themselves, starting with CRM. Now their competitors are Microsoft, is their biggest competitor, but they have a much broader platform, and they've become a very successful acquirer as well. Or newer companies like Atlassian. Atlassian marched right into a segment that Microsoft owned, project management, with a product called Jira. And they are right now one of the fastest growing younger companies with a significant market cap as well.